God damn it. Well, we have been commentating for like the whole of qualifying, but it sounds like no one's able to hear me, so I've done what road in a couple of races back. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me now. I don't even want to commentate in case you just can't hear me. Oh my god. Fucking technology, man. Apologies, guys. Probably talking crap anyway. So as I was saying, now you guys can hear me. Out in front at the moment are the two Alfa Romeos who have done 124.5s respectively. Carcraft's so close behind them as well. So those top three, not even a tenth between each other. It's absolutely crazy. Funny one, Scotty lad, funny one. You'll probably be regretting telling me you can hear me now, because I just talk a load of nonsense anyway. We're on board with Yari, who is one of 3 drivers yet to set a time yet. We'll see what he can do here. So easy to invalidate your lap time there by going wide, just going off the curb, but Yari has managed to keep it away from there as he comes around the final corner. What time is Yari going to be setting here? It's a 124.4, puts him on pole position, provisional pole I should say. What a lap from Yari that is. He's always got a lap like that though in his back pocket, Yari. So fair play to him. Meanwhile, on board with Wet Boy on Drugs, currently in P6, has done a 124.9 so far, which is his fastest. I wonder what the Red Bull driver can do. We know how fast he is. As he comes around the final corner here, we get a nice overview shot of him, and he does a 124.6, goes about 2.5 tenths quicker than his previous time, puts himself up into P5. Meanwhile, on board with Vision, who is now in P2 after Yari beat his time. He's improving slightly. I'm not sure if he'll beat enough to beat Yari's time, though. We'll wait and see as he comes across the line. And he sets a 124.2, putting himself on provisional pole back, beating Yari's time at just under 3 tenths. A mega lap from him. Meanwhile, Van Mesto goes a little bit quicker, does a 124.8, remains in P6, or as Witchy goes a little bit wide there, but on his outlap, so no biggie. Meanwhile, on board with Max, who is currently in P14. Fastest is a 125.7, so I would definitely be expecting Max to improve on his time here. But we shall wait and see as he comes through Beckett. Passes it very, very nicely indeed. As he comes into the final sector of his lap. Still, Vision's time of a 124.2 is the pole position as Max just goes wide and invalidates his lap time, so he just jumps straight back into the pits. On board here with Too Late Mate. Been on pole position before during this time in SRL, so wouldn't surprise me if he might manage to get himself back onto provisional pole with this lap, but we'll wait and see. Gotta keep it as close to the apex as possible there, which he does very nicely. What is Too Late Mate's time going to be here? Is he going to improve on that 124.5 he set in his first run? I think he is. He is. He's going to do a 124.2. Look how close that is to Vision, and the Alfa Romeos once again are on the front row. But still 6 minutes to go. Anything can still happen. I'm sure Yari will have something to say about those 2 times that have just been posted. Letting the wheel unfortunately validating his lap time, but he should have enough time to jump in the pits to go again. On board here with Harry Cully now, in the McLaren. Currently in P16. Has just done his fastest sector 2 in that lap though. Having raced with Harry myself previously in practice sessions, I know how fast he is. Can Harry improve here? As he comes on across the line and does a 125 flat. And gets himself into P9. So gets himself into that top 10. On board here with the racing point of Weisheng. Getting a little bit of slipstream off Learning the wheel, who jumps out of his way. That might help his lap here. We shall wait and see. Weisheng, oh, he's just lost it just as he was coming around the final corner. It looked good as well. And unfortunately, that's not going to help him improve on his time. On board of the AlphaTauri of Mr. Stickless now. He's gone 6/10 quicker in that sector than previously. Currently in P14. He'll be hoping to improve on that. With just under 4 minutes left to go. And Mr. Stickless is going to set a 124.8. And that could be the end of his qualifying now, because I don't think he's going to have enough time to get back around to set another lap, but I'm sure he'll try. Meanwhile, Bob Sadder in the Renault. Fastest is a 125.5. What can Bob Sadder do here? He's going to do a 125.3 and push himself up a place into P13. So most drivers just out on their out laps now, going up, getting ready for their final run at qualifying. I still can't believe for half of this qualifying I've been commentating and my mic has not been picking it up. That's just wonderful. Meanwhile, Weisheng. What is he going to do? Oh, he's miles off actually. I'm being stupid here. He's going to go again though here. So we'll check back with him later to see how he does. A little bit of shenanigans going on between WLBZK and Joe Royal. They're both just getting out of the way, so it's not shenanigans. They're doing the right thing, so just ignore me. Let's see if we can find someone. Anyone who's maybe in sector 2 or 3 potentially. Looks like Weisheng is. We will jump back on board with the racing point. As he comes through the Maggott and Beckett sections. Proper brave there. Very nice through there actually. Very nice from Weisheng. He's got a couple of attempts quicker in that sector as well. It's always good for him. So he'll have time to go for another run if he's got enough fuel saved up. We'll wait and see. But for now, he's going to do a 124.7, get himself up into P6. As Webboy Enjoy comes into the pits, and that is the end of his qualifying. Meanwhile, Carcraft currently in P4, fast as a 124.5, little bit of a oversteer there, and does a 124.7, does not go quicker. That's him finished. Meanwhile on board with Tino, the Ferrari. Had a very good race last week. Can he improve on his P12? He can get himself up into P7 with a 124.7. Meanwhile, Scotty Fennell comes across the line, stays 17th. I think he invalidated his lap at the end there. Meanwhile, Too Late Mates comes across the line to start another lap. Couple of drivers retiring now, not too many on the track still. Meanwhile, Witchy, what can he do here? We'll come back to him later. We'll jump back on board with Harry Cully, as his teammate Scotty Fennell, that is the end of his qualifying. And Scotty will be 17th on the grid. Can Harry improve and get himself further up? We shall wait and see. Coming round the second off last corner. And Harry, what time's he going to set? I think it's going to be a bit quicker this. Yeah, 124.5 into P12. Meanwhile, Too Late Mates is attacking these last final corners. Can he snatch pole position off his teammate Lil Lock up there? But Too Late Mate's going to come across the line, and he does nick pole position. He does a 124.122 or 23, whatever it is, and that is pole position for him as qualifying comes to an end. Scotty did the same as you, Vico. I'm sure Scotty will make up for it in the race. Well, definitely a qualifying that Alfa Romeos will remember for a long time. They get themselves on the front row. They've got the first and second place. Yari and will be P3. Harry got himself up to P4, which is fantastic for him. Carcraft and Wetboy and Drugs are on the third row. Vaisheng and Tino on the fourth. Lennon DeWheel, Varmesto on the fifth. It's Mr. Sickles and Witchy on the sixth. Bob Sada and WLBDK on the seventh. Joe Royal and Max on the eighth. And Scotty Fennell and Hassel will be at the back of the grid. Yeah, it's if you don't get into a rhythm, Scotty, it's a hard track. You lose so much time if you go wide on a corner, or you have to, or you even at the Mags and Becker section, if you have to back off and whatever, just so you don't completely go off the track. You can lose so much time. But it looks like it's going to be, well, the sun's completely out, so I don't think there's going to be any rain. It is Britain though, so I could be wrong still. We'll wait and see. I'm sure the strategy is going to be a one-stop, so top 10 or on the softs, of course, so it would be a case of going on the softs and maybe jumping onto mediums, or if you're not as brave, go on the hards. And if you are obviously outside the top 10, you have free range of tyres, so maybe you can choose to go on the mediums or hards and have a faster tyre compound for the end. But that can be tricky because that does mean you're going to be slow off the start, which could affect your race. So it'd be interesting to see the strategy that the drivers pick. In my race, it was going to be a soft to mediums, but we didn't get out of the first corner, so we didn't really get a chance to see what strategy was best. Anyway, enough about me. Let's jump on to the formation lap and let's get all these things changed. Tyre. So the top 12 on the softs. Bob Sada, Joe Royal, Max and Hassel have opted to go on to the mediums. Meanwhile, Scotty and WLBDK are also on the soft. So most people deciding to go for a faster tyre compound at the start. Of course, top 10 didn't have a choice, but interesting that not all of the bottom 8 decided to jump onto those tyres. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out for them. And thanks to Scotty once again, we have been told there is no rain forecasted, so it looks like it's going to be a dry race all round. So we'll never know, maybe safety cars will come into effect and will affect the strategy. We'll wait and see. Time for Racecraft to come out. So I say this every time, but if you are not one of the drivers watching this stream, go and grab yourself a drink, some snacks, and enjoy the next 45 minutes to an hour of racing, as I'm sure this is going to be a good one. There is the pit stop strategy. So really, they're saying that you stop on the same lap no matter which one you go on to. It's just, do you trust that those mediums are going to make it to the end? We shall wait and see. So the drivers all forming up again on the start-finish straight. Let us know who you think is going to win or who you are rooting for. I'm pretty sure Vico is rooting for Scotty, although I could be wrong. We shall wait and see as the drivers line up on the grid. As we about to get started for round 4 of SRL Tier 1 Season 2. Let's see what happens. As we have 5 red lights, and away we go. As Witchy gets a drive-through penalty for doing a jump start. I know what that's like. So Too Late Mate comes around the first corner, stays in front. Vision just behind him. Tino has got a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Vice Sheng, and that has brought out the safety car. So we have not even got through the first 2 corners, and there's a safety car already. And Tino has got himself a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Varmesto, but that was a hectic start. Quite a few drivers getting some penalties. Let's just have a quick look to see. So Carcraft's got himself a 5-second penalty. Tino's got himself a 10-second penalty. Varmesto's got 5 seconds. Learn to wheel 5 seconds. Vice Sheng 10 seconds. So some severe incidents happening at the very start. But Scotty has had a brilliant start. He's got himself up into P12, so very good from him. Vice Sheng had a shocker. He's gone from P7 all the way to the back. Hassel as well. Scotty's jumped 5 places. Joe is now up into the points. So it'll be very interesting to find out what exactly happened there. But either way, the safety car is out, and now I think it would be very hard to jump on. In fact, I was going to say, is anyone going to pit? I think couple are for damage. Whether for a strategy, though, might be a bit too risky. As Vico tells Scotty to focus. So let's just have a quick look at the race director while we're under safety car conditions. So Witchy got an unfortunate jump start. He would have got a drive-through penalty, but is now out. He's out of the race, isn't he? Yeah, he's out of the race, which is a shame for him. And then here are all the penalties. So Vice Sheng colliding with Carcraft. Those two got 5-second time penalties for that. Lenin De Wheel and Vice Sheng also getting 5-second time penalties for collisions. In fact, Tino involved in that collision between Vice Sheng and Lenin De Wheel as well. Varmesto and Tino scrapping as well, got themselves 5-second time penalties too. So a very chaotic start to the race. But it's a shame for Witchy. I done that myself. Just let go of the clutch just a little too early, and I mean literally tenths in it. And unfortunately, it killed my race. I'm not sure if Witchy actually crashed or if he just decided to retire. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, in terms of at the front, Yari, there's not much change, to be honest. You know, the two Alfa Romeos are still out in front. If I did look, they were having a battle right at the start. So maybe it was a good thing that did stop, because they were getting quite close to each other at the start. Yari and Harry are still third and fourth. Carcraft and Varmesta, although have penalties, are in fifth and sixth. Meanwhile, Mr. Sickless is that another penalty for colliding with Varmesta? Surely not. Goodness me, guys, come on. Behave. Hello, Witchy, mate. What a fun race and fast. Yeah, very quick race for you, unfortunately, mate. I wonder if you can let us know exactly what happened. It looked like you, unfortunately, done what I did and just dropped the clutch just a little too early. But did you get a crash, or did you just decide to retire? Do let us know. Welcome to the stream as well, Runeki, mate, who says, come on, Alfa Romeo. So, Wet Boy on drugs, Tino learning to wheel, and Vaisheng all pitting early. Interesting that Wet Boy on drugs looks like he's gone on to another pair of soft tyres. So he'll have to pit again. Meanwhile, the other three opting to go on the mediums, maybe try and go to the end. I think that'll be tricky, but you never know. I think Mr. Nicholas has wing damage from that contact. Oh, does he? That's absolutely gutting, that. No, I just retired because it's a shame. I don't know what you mean. Are you saying it's a shame because you just I don't know what you mean, mate. I don't know if you're being cheeky because like you go, well, I obviously retired or what. I don't know. Either way, it's a shame, mate. Sorry to see you leave the race so early. But some good news that the safety car is in this lap, which is really good news. So we'll be able to go racing once again. As I just take a final swig of my coffee before we get going once again. So too late, mate, will lead them over the line. It'll be up to him to start accelerating. The race will restart as he does right now. He gets the race going once again. As Mr. Nicholas might go a little bit wide there potentially. The two Renaults back there too. Seems like everyone has got away a lot cleaner this time at this restart. As the two Alfa Romeos battle it out. Yari was he having a wee look at vision there potentially? We'll wait and see. As we come through Maggots and Beckett's. Yari and Vision are too late, mate, of course, taking it cautiously. With the tyre probably not as warm as they would like, after that safety car period. As Vision gets himself onto the grass a little bit there, as there's yellow flags in Sector 2, and Bob Sadler's out. And it is a virtual safety car, and Bob Sadler becomes our second retirement of this race. And it looks like he has he's had a problem just coming out Maggots and Beckett's potentially, as Varmes has been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So once again, it's different this time to the other safety car, that there is no car on track. They're just all meant to reduce their speed and keep to a certain delta, and then they'll get going once again. But already 5 laps in, and we've not even got a lap of racing yet, as Vico rightly points out. As we have a Varmeso motorcyclist jumping into the pits, going on to the hard tyres. As I think that is the end of the virtual safety car period, and we can go racing once again. So we're on board with Yari here. It's going to be a fascinating battle between these three. Be interesting to see if the if Vision King, how long he can keep Yari behind him. Which he says, I hope to win because he is my friend. That's nice, Witchy. Too late, mate. Of course, he's in the lead at the moment. So he's definitely going to be up there. Of course, unfortunately, had that he was on the podium last week, but just had that spin on those in the rain. Nothing too much, but allowed, I think it was a car craft, to go on and win the race potentially. My memory is correct. But it's certainly going to be a very interesting battle, as I think we're going to change to that. As we will leave that battle for a second, as there's a big battle in the midfield at the moment. There's about 4 or 5 cars, only a couple of tenths from each other, as Joe Royal looks to go on the outside of Scotty Fennell, but didn't quite have enough. Interesting, Scotty is still on the softs that he started the race on. Joe is on the mediums. So Scotty should have the advantage for pace at the moment. Tell you what, the safety car period has been very good for some drivers, particularly Scotty and Joe, who are now well into the points at the moment. Of course, haven't pitted yet, of course. It's easy to forget of how long the pit lane actually is, you know. You can, too late, mate, and Vision potentially when they pit, as Wet Boy just gets past Joe very nicely. You can drop down to like 12, 13 or even lower, but that's only because of how long the pit lane actually is. And then when they pit, you're obviously going to make that time back up, as Too Late Mate gets the fastest lap of the race by 1:28.2. We'll jump on board with Carcraft, who's looking to the inside potential of Harry, thought better of it. Ooh, did he touch Harry there, or did he just avoided him? Not too sure. I don't think they've touched. I can't quite see if the front wing's intact. I think it is. I think there he is okay. He was very close though. That's the last thing you want to be doing, is having to do an extra pit stop. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be doing that. As we'll stay on board as they go towards Maggots and Beckett's. As there's yellow flags in Sector 2, and now Vai Sheng is out of this race. As he seems to have lost it. Coming out of, is it turn 4, turn 5 potentially, if I'm not wrong there. That's a shame for him, and that's brought out our our second full safety car, but our third safety car included the virtual one. As now, Too Late Mate, Vision, Yari, they're all going to jump in the pits now on lap 7, and they're all going to jump on a harder compound of tyres to potentially go to the end. And it's effectively a free pit stop here. It is a very long pit straight though, so you might not get as much of an advantage you would on other tracks. But they're all jumping in now, as Scotty Fennell now takes the lead of this race. Of course, he still has to pit. Of course, he decided to stay out on those softs. And there'll be a few drivers that will be serving their 5-second time penalties as well in the pit lane. So that'll hold them up even more. As Varmesto also decided to pit, and you might as well pit Varmesto and Mr. Sick. Let's get off those hard tyres. Absolutely. Might as well. But Scotty must be ecstatic. It's been brilliant for him. But I wonder, couldn't start behind Hardy. That's fair enough, Scotty. So is your plan to potentially pit this lap? We'll wait and see. But it's definitely been the safety car race we've ever seen one. I thought that we just clicked off Hassel then, and I thought he got quite close to Tino there and do so, and they've both been given 5-second time penalties as a result. And he needs to behave here. He needs to calm down. He keeps going past Tino here. Like, he can't go any faster. He's got Joe Royal in front of him, for God's sake. You need to chill out under the safety car, guys. So this is interesting now. So, oh my word, Hassel storming into the pits now. That was very dangerous, that, and he does speed in the pit lane. That was bonkers from the Haas driver. I don't know what he's doing there. I think I might have a run keeping the tyres healthy. So Scotty deciding to stay out. Interesting. Wet Boy and Drugs doing the same, although he's on his second set of soft tyres. So how many times have people pitted now? So Scotty, Max are the only two, and Joe are the three who have not stopped yet. Lennon, DeWheel, Varmesto, and Mr. Nicholas have stopped twice already, as well. But this is interesting, this. I don't really know who's going to win this now, because although Too Late Mate and all that are now on fresh medium tyres, so are the others behind them now, so it's going to be a kid who's got the most raw pace and whatnot who's going to win this race. Let's have a look at the penalties very quickly as well. So Hassel has got a drive-through penalty still to serve. Don't know if that was for speed in the pit lane, I'm not too sure. And Varmesto and Tino, so both Ferraris have got 5-second time penalties to serve. Of course, the others would have served them in the pit lane. So we haven't really been running long enough for anyone to really get corner cut penalties, so it's just been penalties have been getting through collisions and speeding the pit lanes and stuff like that, as the safety car is in this lap. So Scotty Fennell, who started at the back of the grid, is now going to get us going once again on lap 9 at the front. Incredible scenes. I wish all the drivers good luck once again at the restart. Let's keep it clean, guys. Let's get some laps under our belts now without the safety car. As Scotty comes round the final corner onto the start finish straight and gets us going once again. As there's already a yellow flag in centre 3, and it is Hassel who's might just be in the pit lane again. Don't know what's going on with him and with the Haas. As Too Late Mate is sandwiched between the two Mercedes at the moment. He's looking for a move maybe on the outside of Max here. Could be interesting. He's going to try and hold it. And Max is going to give him the space required. And it's a very nice move from Too Late Mate and promotes himself up into P5. Fair play to Max for giving him the space as well. There'd be many drivers who would have tried to fight that a bit harder, but he knew he had to give him space there as Yari gets past Max now as well, gets himself up into P6. Meanwhile, Max is now under pressure from Harry Cully. Of course, Max still on those medium tyres, hasn't pitted yet, so would explain why he's struggling a little bit. As Vision and Harry go side by side here, looking in the fight for P8. As Harry pushing Vision a little bit off the track there. And Harry onto the grass, just keeps it under control. They're still side by side, as you can see here. And Harry is now fighting Carcraft to try and keep P9, but I think he's lost it, and Carcraft does get up into P9 as Too Late Mate gets himself a 3-second time penalty for corner cuts, which is not going to help him. Some good hard racing there, but I think that's fair. Maybe a little bit over aggressive, but still I think that was fair racing from all involved. Meanwhile, Too Late Mate is now looking at potentially making a move on Joe. Another one of those who have not pitted yet. So he's got much fresher medium tyres now, the Alfa Romeo driver. It looks like he's on a mission to try and get back to the front of the grid. As they come through Beckett's. Gets a nice run here. You don't want to be overtaken here, you just want to be getting close. So when you get into this position here, you're going to be able to get past, and it looks like he's going to be able to do so. They're going to go side by side. As we get a nice overview shot, and Too Late Mate gets past the Renault driver and gets himself up into P4 as Vision is now getting past Max Chong. And DRS is now enabled as well, so that's going to help overtaking even more. So out in front, Scotty Fennell still leads, although Wet Boy and Jugs is starting to put the pressure on the McLaren driver now. He'll get some, he might be able to get past him. He goes to the outside of Scotty. Can he hold it on the outside? As there's a virtual safety car and Hassel is out of the race, and Scotty Fennell is one lucky man, because it looked like Wet Boy Jugs was going to get past, but that virtual safety car has meant that Wet Boy Jugs has to give the position back to Scotty because he didn't have it done completely. And Hassel becomes our 4th retirement of the session, and Scotty lives to breathe another day. And I wonder how long this virtual safety car is going to last. It is our 2nd of the race now. So we've had 2 full safety cars and 2 virtual safety cars. Absolutely mental. We're not even halfway through this race yet. We're almost halfway through, but not quite. As Harry Cully gets us up, a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. That's really going to harm his race. As we go racing once again. We'll jump on board with the midfield, but the battle between Carcraft, Max and Joe. Only a couple of tenths between these 3 at the moment. Max still on those tyres he started the race on. Meanwhile, we'll jump back on board at the front between the battle for first between the 2 drivers still on soft tyres. That is Scotty Fennell and Wet Boy on Drugs. As we're starting to see more 3-second time penalties be dished out now, as WLBDK becomes the latest to receive one. Both drivers' soft tyres must be screaming now, particularly Scott. He's been on them for 12 laps since the start. I wonder if that's going to be the advantage needed for Wet Boy and Drugs to maybe get past, but he's not. He's gaining a little bit here now, though, to be fair to him. He's gaining just a... He goes to the inside of Scotty Fennell, and that's a lovely move from the Red Bull driver, and he is now in the lead of this race as Scotty Fennell now deciding to pit. As oh no! Yari loses his front wing. That's too late, mate. He was trying to get past Tino, and he had to slam on the brakes so he didn't hit Tino, but that meant that Yari ended up not being able to stop at all, and he ended up hitting his front wing, and that potentially ruined his race completely. And I think that's just a real shame of an incident there, because it's one of those where one driver is slammed on the brakes as hang on, as too late, mate. Looks like he's gonna get past Tino here. On the inside, they're still side by side, the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. Is the Ferrari not going to be able to hold it? He's got the inside line, and Tino will just about hold it for now. Great battle there, but what a shame for Yari that is. And one of those that just was not avoidable, in my opinion. I think it was very difficult. Only way to avoid that is if the first incident happens that the Alfa Romeo goes into the Ferrari, as now Too Late Mate gets past Tino and promotes himself up into P2, and now we can get after Wet Boy on Drugs. As the standings, as Wet Boy and Drugs actually decided to pit now. That's I was thought the stands were messing up there, but not quite. So Too Late Mate now retakes the lead of this race, although he does have penalties. I was just having a look at the penalties in there. He's got 3 seconds, 5 seconds and 3 seconds. So Tino goes past him. Of course, he's got more penalties at the moment, so he'll need to try and make up a gap as Too Late Mate has lost it. I don't think he's got any damage, but he's going to drop further and further down the field, and he just lost it all on his own there, and that is a real shame for the Alfa Romeo driver. As Harry Cully has been disqualified from the race for ignoring his drive-through penalty and becomes our 5th retirement of the session. And as a result, there are yellow flags in Sector 1. Oh, what a shame that is. To be fair, Yari with this front wing damage, I believe, is still running well, but Carcraft is going to ease past him here and promote himself up into P2. And that is... Well, the race is really hotting up now. We had a couple of incidents happen in such a short space of time, particularly out in the fronts. On board with the Ferrari of Varmesto. Been on his medium tyres for about half the time that Max has, so you would expect he's going to have a big advantage to Max in terms of pace, but we'll wait and see. I don't think he is going to get the RS here, I should say. He will get the RS. Oh, there's a little lock up there. Doesn't seem to have affected him too much though. Still stays relatively close to the Mercedes. He'll be hoping to make up the time in the Magnussen Beckett section of the track, but he's got to be careful. His vision is now right on the back of Varmesto. Varmesto, a little lock up there, you could see as he tries to put the pressure on Max here. He understandably wants to get this move done sooner rather than later. We've just got to keep it nice and steady. Max has done a good stint on those mediums so far. So it's like a four-way battle here. Vision is after Varmesto, Varmesto is after Max, and Max is after Mr. Stickles. It's absolutely mental as Joe Royal gets himself back into the lobby after disconnecting. So he retakes control of his car, which is good to see. Unfortunately, as Vision gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. But yeah, unfortunately, because of the amount of different places all these drivers are racing from, unfortunately, connection issues is just inevitable, unfortunately. As Max deciding now is the time to pit and will release Vision and Varmesto. As there's yellow flags in sector 2, it's WLBDK who's had a spin and has completely done his front wing. I think he's going to carry on, though I don't think it'll be a safety car for that particular crash. As Joe Royal introduced himself back into the lobby by posting the fastest lap of the race. And then opting to retire from the session. So he becomes our 6th retirement of this race, and that has brought out our 3rd full safety car. Now, this is an interesting choice now, because do the front runners, this actually could really help Tino, who's still on mediums. Do you opt to jump on to soft tyres, maybe your used ones, maybe you've got a fresh pair, I don't know if you'd have a fresh pair of soft still available, of course if you didn't start on the soft you will. I'd be interested to see as Tino does decide to do that. Carcraft opting to stay out, Yari jumps into the pits, Mr. Stickles is going to jump in the pits, oh he actually almost freaking well crashes as he jumps in there. So this is interesting. Some drivers opting for track position, others opting for fresher, faster tyres. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. Just got the wrong thing. There we go. So Varmesto's got 5 seconds. Mr. Stickles has got 3 seconds. Vision 6 seconds, Too Late Mate 3 seconds, Scott, Emax and WLBDK have got 3 seconds each as well. And meanwhile, in terms of stops, Mr. Stickles has stopped 3 times, as well as learning to wheel. And then we got a couple of 2 stoppers with Varmesto, Tino, Ayari and Vision and Too Late Mate. And then only Carcraft and Max have opted to stop the once. It's a shame. I wonder if Max had just stayed out that extra lap, maybe he would have been able to preserve some more track position. But he's only dropped down to P8 to be fair, so it's not the worst. As LBDK overtakes the safety car and is being disqualified because of that. I think he was trying to unlap himself, was he, potentially? So I don't know why, I don't know whether it's because of how fast he was going. I don't actually, has he actually been disqualified? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know, the game's just telling a bit of a lie here. I don't know. This game is full of bugs. It's absolutely superb, isn't it? So I'm gonna have a hazard at a guess. It wasn't mild enough rain. ETA. No way. There's actually rain in 15 minutes. I don't think that's gonna be enough really though to affect the race. So Scotty, I think you'll be okay. Just because of how long I think you'll be okay. Only 6 laps to go, of course. I don't think that's really going to affect things. To be honest, could be wrong though. I can see the clouds, but yeah. So we have. Sorry, I keep looking at the. So Van Mester with the 5-second penalty. So ultimately, he's gonna have to pull out some gap to get onto the podium today. Absolutely, that's what I was saying. You know, do you opt on to get back onto tyres you've already used, just because they're maybe going to be quicker or whatnot? It seems like a lot of people have. So it'll be interesting. There's going to be a very exciting final few laps of this race. I'm really looking forward to it. If we have a look at the position changes as well, Van Mester, what a job he's done. Although he has a 5-second time penalty, he started P10, he's now in P2. Wet Boy and Jugs is in P3 from P6. Tino from P8 to P4. Mr. Stickler's from P11 into P5. Some great work there. Carcraft from P5 into first position. And if he can get a good start, although he's still on the mediums, he still could have a say. We shall wait and see. But the safety car is going to be in once again this lap. I'm losing track of how many safety cars we've had. So this is our third full safety car. And if we had 3 virtuals as well, so it's 3-3. Potentially, I'm not 100% sure. I'm losing track. My brain's being overworked here, guys. As Lion DeWheel gives himself a 5-second time penalty for colliding with Too Late Mates. That's not good for him. As Carcraft comes across the start finish line, and we can go racing once again. As Wet Boy and Jugs looks to maybe put a move on Varmesto there. Oh, and Too Late Mate is now retired from the race, and I don't know if he's crashed out or if he's just decided to retire. But that's a massive shame for Too Late Mate, who was on the front row at the start of this race. You'll remember his race has just imploded, and he is now retiring from the session. Meanwhile, Mr. Stickler's having a look at Tino there. It's obviously very tight between these guys, all the drivers at the moment. Although that's a lovely shot there, as Tino's got himself up into P3. Wet Boy and Jugs is now up into P4. Yari having a look onto the outside of Wet Boy and Jugs. In fact, that's going to really help Mr. Sickles, who's going to shoot past as well. And he might get Yari as well. They're going to go side by side. He goes to the outside. Yari giving him a little bit of space. Did they slightly touch them? Not 100% sure. But Yari, I think, is just going to hold the position. And Mr. Sickles will have to settle to stay in P5 for now as Scotty Fennell taking an unconventional corner cut there onto the grass. And with 4 or 5 laps to go, guys, Carcraft leads the race still. The 2 Ferraris of Tino and Varmesto are behind him though, but Yari is getting closer and closer to Varmesto once again here. Who I'm not actually convinced got. He obviously got an opportunity to pit to fix that front wing damage. That's definitely helped him. And on the faster compound of tyre, it's going to be a real threat to Varmesto as they come through Beckett's. Varmesto struggling a little bit. You can see he's struggling on those mediums. And Jari now, he's going to make his move here. They're going to go side by side, although I have a feeling this is going to be a move done. And it is indeed. Jari is onto the podium, I should say. I couldn't speak then. As DRS is now enabled as well. As we ride on board with Mr. Stickless. Vision goes for a move on Varmesto. It's not worked out. He's going to stay now. Varmesto holds the position. I think he's going to try again. And he is going to get through for P4. And even worse for Varmesto, Mr. Stickless looks like he's gotten through as well. And those very used medium tyres just not able to cope and defend very strongly at all, and unfortunately Varmesto drops to P6. Plenty of battles going on here. We're on board with Scotty Fennell, who not for the first time is having a battle with Wet Jugs, who's onto the grass, and now Scotty Fennell is definitely gonna say thank you very much to the Red Bull. Or is he, because he's coming back at him? And I think Scotty's got the position, he's got the inside. Yep, I think he's got the position, has he? Yes, he does. Wet Boy and Drugs, it looked like he might have just recovered it after getting onto the grass, but not quite. Scotty just had enough, of course, on soft tyres. And that puts him up into P8. Of course, he has a penalty and Wet Boy and Drugs does not. So maybe that's why Wet Boy and Drugs maybe decided not to fight for that too much in the end. But meanwhile, this is the battle for the lead. As Carcraft we've been trying to not give Tino any helping hand. But we've seen this battle before, haven't we, between Carcraft and Tino? Particularly last season. Not the first time these two have battled for the lead at all. And I have a feeling it could be advantage Tino here. We're only a few laps to go. Of course, can Carcraft hold on? Tino is going to... Oh, how much DRS, I wonder, has he got saved up? How much DRS has Carcraft got as well to defend? I'm sure the safety cars have allowed them both to save up for attacking and defending, as Max gives himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, which is, of course, corner cutting. But we shall wait and see. Oh, Tino just losing it on the apex there. Was able to save it though. He's lost a little bit of ground though onto Carcraft now. That's not helpful with only 2 laps to go. And of course Tino's got to be careful because Yari's very close behind as well. He's not just going to sit in behind and watch this battle unfold. He's going to want to get amongst it. And I dare say Vision's not too far behind as well, so it's maybe a 3-4-way battle for the lead as we have about a lap and a half to go of this race. Of course, there's more battles apart from the one out front between Varmesto, who... As Max now gets onto the grass as Wet Boy and Jugs did, and Varmesto might be able to have a run at Max now. He'll go onto the outside here, and he will take P6 off the Mercedes driver. I think because of Vision's penalty, this is now going to be a three-way battle for the lead as we come on to the final lap of this race. It's been a race full of safety cars, so not too much racing action if we're being completely honest. And Carcraft, who opted to stay out during the latest safety car to preserve track position, is fighting for his life to keep hold of the lead. Tino, he's not going to have too many more places to get the move done. But it isn't over yet. As they come through Beckett's for the last time. Tino, not the best run through there. Will that allow Yari to get a run on the Ferrari here? He's having a look, deciding where he's going to try and maybe make the move. I don't think he's close enough though. Maybe a dive bomb down here potentially. I don't think so. And it looks like Carcraft is going to come across the line to take the British Grand Prix. Very great driving from him. Tino gets P2, Yari P3, Vision P4, Mr. Sickles P5, Varmesto drops to P6, Scotty Fennell P7, Wet Boy on Drugs P8, and I will run through the rest of the grid once I see it in a second. But what a final few laps that was, and fair play to Carcraft. I'll be honest, I wasn't 100% sure whether staying out was the right option, but once again he proved his absolute class. Let his driving do the talking, and he just kept that gap just enough that Tino never really got into a position where he could go for a move at the end. Really, I think he though was looking behind him and just making sure that Yari didn't get past him. But fair play to the Williams driver, who does take the race win. What a race indeed, Scotty, mate. I'm sure the stewards are definitely going to be busy. So confirmation, Carcraft takes P1. Tino and Yari joined him on the podium. Great drive from those three. Vision from P2 dropped to P4. Still a decent race from him though. Mr. Sickles and fifth. Varmesto P6. Decent run from the Ferrari driver from P10 to P6. Scotty, very good stuff from him. P17 on to P7. Wet Boy on Drugs dropping a few places from his qualifying position into P8. Max, decent drive from him. P16 to P9. DLBDK P14 into the points. Learned the wheel P11. Too late, mate. Joe Royal, Harry Cully, Hassel, Vaishnav, Bob Sadder and Witchy unfortunately did not finish the race. Wow, that was an interesting one, wasn't it, guys? I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Plenty of hard racing action. For some very, very good battles, some proper good drives from all involved. I thought that was a good race. Of course, there's always going to be incidents happen when you're league racing, so I'm sure stewards will be dealing with that. But fair play to Carcraft once again, who takes the race win. So that's it from me, and that is the end of week 4 in SRL. It's been another great afternoon of racing. We will be back once again next Sunday for round 5, which I believe is at Spa, so look forward to that. That will start at 3 o'clock with Tier 4, so look forward to joining Boggy for commentary of that. But have a wonderful week, guys. Everyone stay safe, take care, all the best. Ta-ra.